All right, here we go. Going live on all platforms. And we are live once again. Aloha, fellow shifters, light guardians, mystics, dreamers. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in for some Inspirational Team Tarot. I am your captain for this evening, Mystic Spider-Man, and yeah, happy to be here back once again for some Inspirational Team Tarot. If you guys have like tuned in to this before, if you guys are like fans from like way back in the day when I used to do this like every single freaking day, go ahead, drop some 1111s and just go ahead and let me know if things are coming through loud and clear. Tonight's going to be pretty casual. It's going to be a bit of a test run as well. Just doing a little bit of an experimentation on some new systems. We're broadcasting on YouTube. We are broadcasting on Twitch, on TikTok, and on Instagram all at the same time, and on Facebook. And yeah, just making sure the latency is working, the bandwidth is coming through, and we'll get things rolling into some first readings right away. And yeah, thank you guys so much. If you guys are tuned in on YouTube, do me a favor, and you guys can literally just do this just to humor me. Feel free to like tune in on Twitch, and you can find the link for my Twitch in the, actually I don't know if I put it in the info for this video. Actually I don't think I did. Did I? I'm not 100% sure. But you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Mystic Spider-Man Tarot. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm kind of gearing my new Twitch channel like specifically for the tarot, as well as doing like some other broadcasts and the meditations and everything, but it'll be a cool opportunity for new people to be able to discover us. And for those of you on Instagram as well, if you notice me like looking over here, for those of you on TikTok and Instagram, that's because we are already we're talking to multiple cameras here. So we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, and we're on TikTok, and we're on Instagram, and I'll do my best to adjust the cameras. And I think we're actually ready for our first reading. Yeah, we actually already are. We already got our first contribution for our first reading from Amanda. Amanda, thank you so much. Amanda, if you're in the chat, I think I just saw your comment on the Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. No, on the TikTok, there it is. Amanda, thank you so much. Let's give a nice warm thank you to Amanda, who already sent a nice tip of $5 just to be able to get things rolling. So Amanda, we're going to get right into our first reading. I just kind of like set things up with a little bit of a preface so people can understand what it is in terms of the readings that we offer. So for those of you who may be new, there's a couple ways to be able to get readings, and we're doing this in a way where people can contribute on the spot contributions through my PayPal with a $5 contribution, or even just like a pay it forward version where you can contribute whatever you want above $5, and then we'll continue to pay it forward into future readings for continued people. Or one of the things that we're really encouraging is inviting people to be able to join on my Patreon. So one of my missions, one of my quests that I'm on right now is to be able to get my Patreon back up to 200. Now I know that's like a mile away because we're at 100 right now, but between now and the time that my child is born, that's one of my objectives, and I think we'll actually probably get there a little bit sooner. So feel free to join my Patreon. Feel free to sign up for my PayPal. I'll explain more about it. We're going to get right into our first reading for Amanda. I'll post the links for those into the chat on Instagram, and for those of you on TikTok or YouTube, the links for both the PayPal and the Patreon are in my info, in my profile link. And yeah, you guys can jump over there, send some contributions, and any contributions that come in now, we'll get right into our next reading as well. And I got some additional perks for the Patreon, such as when you join at the Patreon level on the $33 level, I'm offering free Light Guardian crystals for those of you who join at the $33 level on the Patreon, and that would just be like involving like just pay a little bit extra for shipping, and then I'll send you that plus the other perks. I'll explain more about that later, but let's just get right into our first reading. So Amanda, usually when we do these, we give the option for contributing, for people who are donating, for people who are tipping, what deck it is that they want to use. So Amanda's going to be choosing the deck. Amanda's tuned in on TikTok right now, so thank you, Amanda. And the decks that you have to choose from, Amanda, you have the official, like the traditional tarot deck. So this is like the Ananda tarot deck. You have an oracle deck, that's the Hero's Journey. You have another oracle deck that is called Sacred Spirit, and you have another oracle deck, which is the Lightworker Oracle deck. And so again, just as a preface, and go ahead and Amanda, let me know which deck you would prefer, or if you want me to choose for you, that's totally cool. With these readings that I don't do these necessarily as a fortune telling. With any of the readings that I do, again, this is a chance for myself to help you as a conduit, to be able to serve as a mirror for you to be able to receive a message from the universe, for you to be able to receive additional guidance to support and inspire you on your path. So this isn't going to be something where it's necessarily going to be like, hey, like tell me like who I'm going to marry, or tell me about my love, or tell me about if I'm going to get a new job. A lot of people do readings like that. That's not quite what I do, but I definitely do focus on just being able to channel through an inspirational message that will be for both the person who's contributing as well as for anybody who happens to be tuned in. So Amanda is choosing the Lightworker Oracle deck, which is super awesome. I'm super excited just to be able to start off with that deck. It's definitely a favorite of mine. So again, let's give a nice warm welcome and thank you to Amanda for contributing on the PayPal already, just to be able to kick things off. And for those of you, again, tune in on TikTok, tune in on Twitch, tune in on YouTube or Instagram. Just leave some comments, and if anything we say resonates with you, drop some 1111s in the chat. So Amanda, the way how we're going to do this is basically just doing a little bit of a meditation. So yeah, totally. Amanda is saying, yes, I just want to see what my spirit guides recommend for my journey. Totally. And basically, you know, when we do these, I encourage you to just like have that intention of like, show me what I need to see is a great intention to be able to more or less hold. So let's get things rolling here. And for everybody here, I just invite you to join in a little bit of a meditation. It's great to be able to get into a reading right off the bat. For anybody who wants the next reading, just go ahead and send that contribution. I'll be going up until about 8:30, and that's when I have to go pick up Lacey from work. And with this, we're going to, again, just kind of keep working towards those Patreon goals. We're currently at 100, working towards 111. And thank you guys so much. Your presence here in itself is worth more than I can even express. So thank you guys. Let's have some fun. And let's see what messages the universe has for all of us. So let's get into this. Let's do a quick little meditation. So for Amanda and everybody here, we're going to do a quick meditation. And Amanda, I'm going to just basically instruct you to... on my cue, you're going to say now. Once I tell you to, I'm going to walk you through your breath, and I'll be like, okay, when you're ready, say now. And then when you say now, that's when I'll split the deck. So you're going to be like choosing. It's going to be your cue that will prompt like when the card comes through. So this is very much like both of us collaborating to be able to pull the card here. So Amanda, if you're ready, just go ahead and type yes into the chat, or I'm ready into the chat. And yeah, let's get ready to roll into this. And stay tuned. I'm going to be doing like a lot of these tarot broadcasts over the coming however long until we reach the Patreon goal quest of 200. Like we're mobbing it, man. We're mobbing it. So. And thank you again to those of you tuned in on, do we have anybody tuned in on, we have 2 people tuned in on Twitch right now. Good God, we have doubled our viewership on Twitch already. So, all right, let's do this. Amanda is ready, and we'll keep an eye open for the next contributions as we go through this. So Amanda, and for everybody here, let's just do a quick little meditation. So let me just get a little bit of water. Go ahead and just relax. All right. Again, this is just practice for me. It's been a while. I got to warm up, right? So, okay, here we go. Amanda, when you're ready, just go ahead and gently close your eyes. Just allow yourself to connect with your breath. Soft, gentle inhales. Soft, gentle exhales. And as you breathe here, Amanda, just allow yourself to be in this space of gratitude. Gratitude for yourself, gratitude for this space, for this community, gratitude for whatever messages are coming through from the universe, from your spirit guides for you, for us in this moment. And so Amanda, I want you to just continue to breathe here. And as you breathe here, I want you to focus on the intention, show me what I need to see, or show us what we need to see. Show me what I need to see. So just go ahead and repeat that. Show me what I need to see. Speak it with your heart, speak it with your mind, speak it with your words, speak it with your soul. Just take a few more moments here as you breathe. Amanda, I'm just charging the deck. And at your own time, when you're ready, go ahead, take another few breaths, and then type now into the chat. And we'll just do a little bit of wizard magic for those of us who are here. Go ahead, type your wizard noises in the chat. And oh, what a joy it truly is to be back here in this space of bliss, be able to see what magic the cards have for you and me. Now, as Amanda says, we shall truly see. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. The sound effects are a part of the broadcast. Like I'm sorry, it's just second nature at this point. I can't pull tarot without making sound effects. I literally can't. I've tried. All right, well, this looks like a very relative card to be able to start off with. And again, every card that we pull here, this is a card not just for you, it's for anybody who happens to be tuned in. So if you're tuned in right now, this message is for you as well. So thank you, Amanda, for helping facilitate us as well. So the first card that we have pulled, first of all, does anybody want to guess what card it is? It's not a tarot deck, but it's a theme. What is the world going through right now? What is the world going through right now? Okay, I'll give you like 5 seconds to guess. 5, you don't even have to type it, just feel it in your heart. 4, 3, 2, you guys got it. The first card that we have pulled is card number 16, Dark Night of the Soul. It's my favorite card. Card number 16, the Dark Night of the Soul. Now, again, for those of you who may not be entirely familiar with Oracle, don't fret. It's not like a bad card by any means. It's definitely a card with a very powerful message and a very fitting card to be able to start off our tarot broadcast with. My goodness. So, it's as if we haven't done this in a while, and then suddenly the universe is like, here, this will kick things up into gear. So let's get right into this. What I'm going to do, basically, the way how this works, Amanda, we're going to read from the book the basic explanation, but then from there, I'm going to extrapolate on it. We're going to kind of like channel some additional messages. This is where it becomes like a unique version of tarot that I offer, where it's really just going to be me just kind of like speaking on behalf of spirit to you, to anybody who happens to be tuned in right now. And yeah, for anybody who's here, if anything we say resonates with you, drop an 1111 in the chat. So let's just observe what the card looks like first and foremost. So looking at this card here, an incredibly beautiful graphic that we have here on this card. And again, I'm just going to be showing it to Amanda, who is on TikTok, as well as for those of you on Instagram and on YouTube. For those of you who want to join in on Instagram or YouTube, just click the link in my profile. So you can see this vision of this woman who is holding this light at the center of her chest. And she is surrounded by darkness, but around her, between herself and the darkness, there is this illuminated aura, you could say, this very beautiful orange aura coming off around her. And underneath her, there's what you can see as basically, it kind of looks like a yin yang from the distance, but it's actually like a woman. It's more or less like her hunched over. So it's kind of like hunched over like this. And there's almost like this, like kind of like there's something leaving, it's something kind of like exiting out of the body down from that like lower form posture. So you can see this is a very, very powerful image. And again, obviously the Dark Night of the Soul has a lot to do with not just staying in the Dark Night of the Soul, but to move through it as a process as well. So let's take a deeper look into this card. We're going to read through the book and then we're going to dive in a little bit deeper. Again, for those of you on TikTok, for those of you on Instagram, I'm just going to post in the link for my PayPal and my Patreon once again. So for anybody who wants to be able to jump in for the next reading, basically the way how we do this, we do them for contributors as we go. And as we keep getting contributions in, we'll go right into the next reading, but we'll dive deep into this one for a bit. And thank you again, everyone. And let's work on getting 3 Patreon signups today before 8:30. I think that'd be dope, but no pressure either way. And even if it's the PayPal contributions, it's all equally appreciated. So go ahead, stick around, share this with your friends, and thank you guys so much for being here. We got lots more tarot still to come. So allow me to just get a drink of water. And for Amanda and for everybody here, go ahead and just kind of listen as a meditation as we just dive a little bit deeper into the message of this card. What message does the universe have for us right now? So number 16, the Dark Night of the Soul. You are ready for a more real and radiant relationship with the divine. Your preconceived ideas of safe, limiting beliefs may be sacrificed in order for this to happen. To the divine, they are only the clothing of your spirit. They are impediments to the absolute intimacy the divine seeks with you. You might feel vulnerable or uncertain, as the divine goes about stripping away these barriers. This is when you enter the Dark Night of the Soul. You understand there is nothing to rely upon but the divine. You will find it difficult to trust at times. This night will end. However, the sweetness of the divine dawning in your heart shall render all worthwhile. But for now, you are meant to feel exactly as you feel. You are not doing something wrong. You are moving closer to the divine. So again, as I'm reading this, if anything I say resonates with you, drop some 1111s in the chat. We'll keep moving along here. We got 6 viewers on Twitch. Oh my God. Thank you so much, guys. We're going viral on Twitch already. Here we go. So, hey, AJ, thanks for joining in. Still more to read here. Again, just listen to this as meditation. So if anything we say resonates, drop some 1111s. Even though you are already on a spiritual path this lifetime, you can go deeper. Draw off a 777 if you think you can go deeper. Even though, I already read that. Sometimes people know this, yet are afraid. Familiar with emotional drama, they are hesitant to let go of what they know, even if that is emotional suffering and mental anguish. I'm going to reread that again. That's very, very powerful. Familiar with emotional drama, they are hesitant to let go of what they know, even if that is emotional suffering and mental anguish. How many people here know someone who is addicted to emotional drama? You don't have to answer that. That fear prevents them from being willing to trust in the loving hand reaching out to them. It might seem silly, yet letting go of fear to take hold of the hand of love can be extraordinarily difficult. If you don't trust that love will hold you, letting go can seem like allowing yourself to fall into an abyss. A feeling of madness may plague you as you wonder if you are sane to leave a known world behind you and enter into the darkness of your own doubt and fear. So again, as we're saying this, I know this is like, oh, this is like a person, this is about people and stuff like that. But like, think about how relative this is to the collective right now. Like, dude, like, man, like, things just kicked into gear today. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but interpret this through the lens of like what this collective is going through, right? We're going to dive deeper. Here we go. You sense that the old self and the familiar ways will not survive this dark night. Even if you know in your heart that this sort of spiritual death is an opening to new life, it can still be profoundly confronting. The only way to end the dark night of the soul is what's the only way to end the dark night of the soul? You can't go under it. You can't go over it. You gotta go through it. That's what. Do you guys remember that nursery? Sorry, I'm not trying to spoil the mood here. It's very serious, guys. We're talking very serious stuff here. So this is the game. To endure it and to know that, although you will not understand how it could be possible, it will transform itself into the sweetest of grace. In time you shall be on your knees, not in despairing prayer, dearest child of love, but in gratitude, peace, and devotion. Though it begins as a challenge, the dark night of the soul will become a saving grace. Love knows you are ready. Ooh, I'm getting like chills, like activation sensations reading this. No matter what you may think at this moment of struggle, you are ready to take this spiritual test and emerge more in love with divine than ever before. Remember, this is an advanced initiation and therefore challenging at a profound spiritual level. Therefore, get some support. Even though you walk the path alone, another can help you bear witness to your process and remind you that you are on a noble path of enlightenment. Love and truth. Sorry, or how did I, wait 1 second, where did I? You therefore even though you walk this path alone, another can help you bear witness to this process and remind you that you are on a noble path of empowerment, love, and truth, and enlightenment. Also, although you may feel your guidance has abandoned you, in truth, they are with you ever more closely, whispering words of encouragement, hope, and love. I'm going to reread that. Like that in itself, if you're just tuned in for like this next 30 seconds, I just want you to like hear this message because this in itself is so powerful. Also, although you may feel your guidance has abandoned you, in truth, they are with you ever more closely, whispering words of encouragement, hope, and love. Look for the love within and let it guide you through the dark night. It will lead you faithfully and in perfect divine timing into the light of the sweetest morning. So that's what's written in the book. We're going to dive a little bit deeper. This is where, again, it just takes it through the various levels of how we get to be able to explore the message here for this card. And for everybody here, again, I want you guys to be able to just kind of like talk about this. How does this resonate for you? And one of the ways that we do this is to also even be able to invite people listening to be able to write out an affirmation based on the message of the card. When you write out an affirmation based on whatever the card was, whatever we just talked about, it basically like tells the body that you were paying attention. It basically tells like the spirit, like, oh, like I heard what was said. and it gives you a chance to integrate it. So if you want to create an affirmation about this card, go ahead and do that. I'll talk about it for a bit. I'll give my own affirmation a little bit, and then there's an invocation that's written here that we can share a little bit more. So again, as we're doing this, for those of you tuned in, if you guys want to jump on for a next reading, that is available again through a single contribution on PayPal. And again, even if you want to do a contribution that's more than $5, do it as a pay it forward. Any pay it forward we kind of just like do for people in the chat, which is always appreciated. We've had people come on here and they donate like $50 and stuff like that, and then we just keep doing readings consecutively. Or what I encourage you to do is also like one's kind of, the Patreon's kind of preferred, but either or is equally appreciated. If you want to join the Patreon, that's also super appreciated and help me reach my goal of 200 Patreon supporters before the little fractal is born. So all right, here we go. So diving deeper into this. Oh, hold on. Did I get the Patreon link wrong? Oh, that's why. Okay, let me just recopy the Patreon link because it was the way it was spaced out there. Thanks for letting me know there. That's why that was happening. And Amanda, 2 seconds. We're going to dive deep into this. We still got a little bit more to be able to talk about. And this is where, when I just kind of like freestyle, this is where it gets interesting, because I'm like, I don't even fully know what I'm going to say all the time. Okay, I reposted the Patreon link. Let me just see. Hopefully that works next time yeah, okay, there we go. Thank you, Rasa. Thank you for pointing out that the Patreon link was kind of janky there. So, okay, we'll keep an eye on any contributions and everything coming in. For those of you on Twitch, thank you guys so much. This is my new channel. Please feel free to subscribe. Stick around. I got my schedule listed in my channel and everything like that. So, okay, let's dive a little bit deeper here. So, okay. Carly, and who else is on Twitch? It's like Carly, yo, Hatch Dog, thank you so much, and Tiger, thank you so much for joining on Twitch. Okay, so Dark Night of the Soul. Like I said, this card, the fact that we pulled this card as the first card, like literally, you know, it's just like, I've done how many of these tarot broadcasts over the years, and yet the first card that we pull, again, when we pull these cards, it's not just a card that's just for whoever is contributing. This is a card for the collective. This is a card for whoever's tuned in. This is a card for us to be able to receive an idea of the weather of the collective spirit that is unfolding all around us. And I think it's undeniable that the Dark Night of the Soul is something that, yeah, we are always going through it, because I don't think there is ever a point on this planet where individually or collectively there is not a Dark Night of the Soul that is taking place, you know, on some micro or macro level. But now within the collective, we are getting to the point where it's become incredibly obvious that things are quite dark. Things are quite uncertain. And yet, even within this, we have a choice. And I think that's what this card really represents. It's this card, if I were to just really hit home my message, this card for me reiterates the idea that you have a choice. You have a choice as to how you navigate the Dark Night of the Soul. And one of the best things that you have going into the Dark Night of the Soul is that you know it is the Dark Night of the Soul. Because when you know it is the Dark Night of the Soul, you know that the Dark Night of the Soul is actually a part of a process. The Dark Night of the Soul is not the Dark Night of Infinity that never ends. The Dark Night of the Soul is the seed growing within the dirt. The Dark Night of the Soul is the process that awakens the consciousness, that awakens the spirit. It is the challenge that helps us grow, a common theme that we'll be reiterating here time and time again. And this is what we need to be reminded of. You know, I've probably done tarot broadcasts where I've like repeated the same message, but we need to be reminded of this time and time again, that again, you know, within this process of going through the challenges in our life, we have a choice to be able to see them as an opportunity to know that there is a chance for us to be empowered by them, a chance for us to be empowered by the challenge, to be empowered by the uncertainty, to be empowered by the option to be able to turn deeper into our heart space and really to be able to reflect on what wisdom we have already inside of us that guides us through our next steps, that guides us one step at a time. Because I think when you're working towards the Dark Night of the Soul, it's important to be able to know, like, okay, like, yes, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, there is a rising dawn by the end of the evening, by the end of the night. You don't need to know every step that's going to get you there. If you can take it one step at a time, that will lead you through it. And I think with the Dark Night of the Soul, one of the most important things that we need to be reminded of is taking care of ourselves. How to take care of ourselves, the simple things that we can do to take care of ourselves. I think the Dark Night of the Soul is usually at its most painful when we are in a reactive state, when we are in a state where it's like, oh, something went wrong, oh no. And then you just kind of like, you feel like you lose control. But the fact is that even though you may lose control of your surroundings, you still have control. you have control of one of the most important things that you will carry with you throughout your entire life, your breath. Relatively speaking, I know anxiety attacks make it very challenging to be able to get control of your breath, but even still, how do you oftentimes stop an anxiety attack? It usually is through the awareness of the breath work, the meditation. And with that breath can become a symbol. That breath can actually become a reminder. That breath can guide you into a place where you are reassured that this will guide you, that you are guided, that you have everything you need inside of you to get you to where you're going. And so again, with the dark night of the soul, I think it's important to be able to have that foresight, but also to be able to know that it's okay to ask for help, that it's okay to be able to reach out to others. And I think being able to surround yourself with community, surround yourself with other people that have gone through their own dark night of the soul, with other people that have gone through their own trials and tribulations. And I think what's interesting is that you look at people who have gone, because we all go through many dark nights of the souls, right? It's not just one, it's like a series of it. The dark night of the soul is just a phrase that we use that is really about the propagation of our growth. But you look at people that have gone through the dark night of the soul, and by the time they go through it, if you were to ask them, be like, would you take it back if you could? If you didn't have to go through that, would you change it? And then people would be like, well, it brought me to where I am. And where I am is somewhere quite special. It may not be perfect. It doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. It doesn't mean it's going to be like ideal. But it's allowed me to find something within myself that I didn't even know I had. It allowed me to be able to tap into a deeper part of my strength and my courage that was a seed that was growing over time. And I'm grateful for my personal dark night of the soul, because it's your dark night of the soul. Own it. Own it. I challenge you. I invite you. What would it feel like if you were to literally own it? Own the fact that your dark night of the soul is, as much as you're willing to see it, a gift too. Can you say thank you? Thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me, dark night of the soul. This is a shitty situation, dark night of the soul, but it's calling me into a deeper place of my own sovereignty. It's forcing me to be accountable. It's making the unconscious conscious. I can't hide behind what was once in the shadow anymore, because the dark night of the soul is also about being able to illuminate what is hidden within the darkness. So the dark night of the soul is a process of making the unconscious conscious, but it's also the process of being able to bring more of the light out to be seen. And not just for yourself, but also in a way that others can see it too. For you to go through your own process of arising out of the dark night of the soul, that story can actually become incredibly inspirational for others. So there's an invocation here, and again, if anything I'm saying with you resonates, drop those 1111s. This is just a practice run. We'll probably get this card again, and next time I read it, I'll probably tell it different, because it's always going to be different based on where we're at. And again, with the collective right now, do you see it? Do you see what the collective is going through? The collective is going through the dark night of the soul. And how powerful is it for us to be able to, in the midst of uncertainty and doubt and fear and chaos, to be able to know within our hearts that this is leading us towards a golden dawn, a golden age, whatever you want to call it. This is leading us towards something great, something powerful. But I think, again, with the dark night of the soul, I think it still evokes free will. It's not like the dark night of the soul is literally just something that ends just because you just kind of nonchalantly it'll be done in a couple of weeks, no big deal. Like the dark night of the soul ends when you are ready for it to end. And that may be a very hard thing to be able to interpret, because you're like, I'm ready for it to end now. But on a soul level, it's like, wait, let's get as much as we can out of this. There's still something more for you. And I think the dark night of the soul, it may not end, but it can transform in a moment, because it can transform based on your relationship to it, your relationship to that moment, to the dark night of the soul. So every situation that you're going through, you have a choice. Can it empower you? Yes, absolutely. Do you choose it to empower you? Can you get excited about your dark night of the soul? Oh man, I can't wait till I come out of this one, because I'm going to be even stronger. And in fact, that strength that is already at the end is already in me now. I'm merely cultivating it. I'm embodying it. I'm integrating it. Again, if this resonates with you, drop some 1111s in the chat. I could go on for this for a while longer, but I'm going to take a break here because I just want to be able to move some energy into the next reading. I literally could just talk about this for like an hour, but I feel like if you guys feel like you got sufficient insight from this, again, just go ahead, drop those 1111s if it resonates with you. And what I want you to do, I want you to create your own affirmation based on this teaching, based on this card. So an affirmation, I can see Deborah already left an affirmation in the chat. We'll read your affirmations on air. So an affirmation for me: I am becoming stronger through the process of moving through my own dark night of the soul, as well as the collective dark night of the soul. I hold with me a guiding light that illuminates within the darkest of nights. And I know that by anchoring into my own truth and light, it will help others find hope when they are lost in the darkness as well. For the truth is, we are never truly lost. So kind of it's a long affirmation, but nonetheless, dark night of the soul. Let me just read the invocation here that's written in the book. The invocations, they usually are written in a way where if you're hearing it, it's like, think of it as if you're speaking it to yourself. So as I'm reading this, just imagine my voice is Morgan Freeman and it's actually God's voice speaking through you, or something like that. Invocation. The dark night of the soul is a love calling me into light, calling me to let go of fear, to release my every doubt, and say instead, I know that love is more real, more powerful than anything else. Sorry, I haven't worked on my Morgan Freeman voice, so don't worry, I'm like annoyed with it too. So I accept, I'm just gonna read it on. I know that love is more real, more powerful than anything else, always. So I accept love's power and grace, and I invite the healing presence of unconditional divine love into my heart now. Bring me the peace and spiritual blessing that I need to be freed and from darkness and open to the sweet light of love's truth. May all beings caught in darkness be assisted by unconditional love, so too feel and know that the path of love is theirs forever. Through mine own free will, so be it. Number 16, Dark Night of the Soul. Amanda, thank you so much for helping us draw that card. Amanda is on TikTok. Thank you so much, Amanda, for your contribution. For those of you leaving your comments on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube and Twitch, and possibly on Facebook. I can't see the Facebook chat right now. Thank you guys so much for your engagement. And go ahead and write out some affirmations. I'll read some of those on air. And Amanda, if you want me to send you the write-up for this card, just DM me on Instagram and I can take a picture for it and send it to you. We'll take a quick little intermission here before we get into our next reading. Again, our next reading will be for the next person who would like to be able to get a reading. And again, you can get a reading by contributing on PayPal with an asking contribution of $5. But you are also welcome to be able to join on the Patreon. And again, the Patreon, that's where you guys can not only support the work that I do in the community, but you can also get involved further as a leading member. Leading members within the Paradigm Shift Central community get access to exclusive events that I host, events including Conscious Creator work periods, including Flow Tree workshops, on-air Synergy Circle broadcasts, additional events still to be determined, and the special Dream Den discussion group that Lacey and I are hosting, which is going to be like a Saturday morning type thing twice a month, and we'll be starting that in the future. So if you guys not only want to help support, but also be a part of an awesome community, then definitely check out the Patreon. And if you have any questions about that, go ahead and let me know. And again, if you contribute, and Amanda, thank you so much. I'll read the affirmations in a second. And again, reminder, if you guys really feel the call and you got the funds to do so and you want to join on the Patreon at the higher level, the $33 level, for limited time, I'm offering Light Guardian crystals for those of you who join at the $33 level. And that would be something where you would join at the $33 level and then just pay additional shipping. So it would just be like $10 on PayPal. And I'll send you a Light Guardian crystal, color of your choice. And it comes with a multicolor variation as well. These are items that are available from my shop. So shameless plug, or you can just order one of the Light Guardian crystals from my shop there as well. And thank you guys. So some of you have actually ordered Light Guardian crystals already. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, and also when you join at the $33 level, you also get like a monthly one-on-one session with me. And that one-on-one session can be a one-on-one tarot. It can also be a one-on-one conscious creator like coaching period, which is what I do. So if you're a conscious media creator, you can do that. If you're not a conscious media creator and you want to do a tarot, you can do that. And I am also like offering like even like custom like meditations. So it'd be like one-on-one meditations and stuff like that. So either way, whatever works for you is totally appreciated. And again, the single contributions, those help too. The single contributions, those come through right at the start, right away. So those are always appreciated. The Patreon contributions take to the end of the month. But yeah, either way, it's super appreciated. And let me just read the affirmations here. And we do actually have Kristen, who I just got your confirmation for your PayPal contribution. Kristen, thank you so much for your contribution on the PayPal there. And we'll get right into your next reading in a second. And let me just read the affirmations here. And let's give a nice welcome and thank you to Christy or Kristen. And Kristen, if you want to jump over to Kristen, if you want to jump over to YouTube, go ahead, do that now. Click the link in my profile, jump over to YouTube. Most of the team is on YouTube right now. And that's where like the primary camera is. So if you're on that camera, I'll show you on this camera. Plus the audio is different. So Christy, let me know if you're jumping over to YouTube real quick. Just be like, oh, I'm jumping over to YouTube, and we'll keep an eye open for you there. But if you prefer to stay on TikTok, that's totally fine. Whatever works. Okay, affirmations. Deborah, I affirm as I leave old energy behind, sometimes even with my eyes closed. I embrace new experiences and joyfully develop true trust in my higher self. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, Kristen, go ahead. You got a couple minutes, no rush. And Deborah, thank you so much for your comment. And Amanda says, I am letting go of my fear and need to control in order to grow in strength from within. Thank you so much, Amanda. And Amanda, I'm glad that resonated with you. I did see your comments earlier. It said, thank you. That was definitely one of the best tarot readings I've ever had. Definitely resonates. Yeah. As I screenshot that, I might save it for later. Amanda, thank you so much. And Amanda, feel free to DM me on Instagram if you want the image for that card. So how's Twitch doing? We got 5 people tuned in on Twitch. If anybody wants to raid me on Twitch, by all means, go ahead. Carly, I don't know if that's the thing. Is that a thing, Carly? Can you raid me? Okay. Let's see. All right. Let's take a moment here. We're going to invite Christy into the chat if they're jumping over to YouTube, and we'll just give it a second here for them to confirm. Who here is interested in joining on the Patreon either soon or maybe by the end of the month? If you're interested in joining on the Patreon soon, do me a favor, drop a 555 in the chat just so I can get a scope on things. And yeah, thank you guys so much. And even if you're already on the Patreon, another way to help support, if you guys want to upgrade your Patreon pledge, like if you're already on the Patreon, you can send like $5 on PayPal. That's fine. If you want to upgrade your Patreon, that is also another way to be able to like activate a reading. All right, there's Kristen. Thank you so much for joining in. Chris, should I refer to what would you prefer me to refer to you as? Just as I'm doing this reading, because I'll be using your name a few times. Kristen, Chrissy. And as we get into this, we'll invite Kristen to be able to choose from one of the decks, and let's give a nice thank you again to Kristen. And Carly, thank you so much for your support on the back end as we go viral on Twitch. Are we viral on Twitch yet? Is that happening yet? So, okay, all right. Let me just get on my decks. Once we get a new Patreon supporter tonight, I'll do I can dance. I can do like an intermission dance with my new Glow Flow toy. I feel like just for my get some exercise in. So, but yeah, I'm starting a new schedule for a bunch of stuff in the very near future. Literally next week, I'm going to be doing like Chrissy, going to be doing a lot of morning meditations as well as tarot and some other stuff throughout the week. Some shoot the shift, some paradigm shift circles, conscious creator work periods, and our cornerstone events on Thursdays. All right, let's get right into our next reading, and we'll keep an eye open for another contribution. And again, anybody who signs up on the Patreon, thank you guys so much. Anybody who signs up for the PayPal, thank you guys so much. Links for that are in my profile. For those of you on TikTok and Instagram, you can see the graphics up there. And yeah, let's get right into this. Christy, what deck would you like to use? So we have a few decks. We have the traditional Ananda Tarot deck. So that's like straight up like traditional tarot. We have the Sacred Spirit deck, which is pretty cool. We have the Hero's Journey deck. And we also have the Lightworker Oracle deck. So if you want to choose, I can see your comments saying whatever I feel. If there was one there that did jump out, you can still change your mind. That's totally fine. Other than that, I would say I'd be down to do the Sacred Spirit deck. And then maybe for the next one, we'll get into the traditional. So Sacred Spirit deck, does that sound good? Like super beautiful spirit deer. So, okay. All right. If that's cool with you, Chrissy, there's a bit of a delay, so I'll just get that ready. And yeah, we'll get right into our next reading. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We got, oh, that's awesome. We got 9 people tuned in on YouTube. We got 4 people tuned in on Twitch. We got 1 person tuned in on TikTok. We got 2 people tuned in on Instagram. And yeah, this is me warming up. This is like a warm-up day for me. So I appreciate you guys holding space. I'll be doing these a lot more, and your support helps support the people who are coming in after you, and then they get readings. And you know, I'm just here to be able to really just be a beacon of hope, to be able to create a digital space where I want this space to be a space where people can like get excited when they see me online, and they're just like, oh, like Brendan's doing more tarot, like, oh, last time I was on there was some like super cool stuff that came through, I'm going to join again. And for us to, you know, continue to build our little community here. So as much as it is about the tarot, it's also about us inspiring people, and it's about building a team. So if you guys are looking to connect with a really cool team of conscious media creators and just people who are here to help shift consciousness, then definitely stay connected. So, and I'll put in my link for my Twitch again. Can you guys subscribe to my Twitch thing? My Twitch. Okay. All right, we're gonna get right into that next reading for Christy. And Christy, I'll walk you through this in a second. What we're gonna do a little bit of a meditation. So, okay, cool. All right, let me just click a couple buttons. All right, okay, cool. We're good to go. All right. So we'll keep an eye open for another contribution as we're doing this, and in the meantime, let's just focus on this one. So, Christy, again, I'm just going to reiterate, when I do these readings, these aren't necessarily like fortune tellings. This is a chance for us to be able to receive insight and inspiration from the universe, to assist us on our journey, to assist us on our next steps. And so as we do this, Chrissy, I'm just going to invite you to do a little bit of a meditation with us. We'll just drop into our heart space, and then we'll focus on the intention, show us what we need to see. So Chrissy, if you're ready for this, just go ahead and type "I'm ready" into the chat. And as we do this, I'll guide you to the point where I'll instruct you to just take a few breaths and then type "now" into the chat. And when you type "now," that's when I'll pull the deck for you. I'll pull the card for you. So, and yeah, for those of you who are still tuned in on TikTok and Instagram, like this reading is still for you. So if you're like, oh, that first reading had some messages for me, stick around. You guys can literally just hang around as long as you want. I'll be here till 8:30, and then I have to go pick up Lacey from work. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Christy. And let's do this. Christy is ready. So for everybody here, just go ahead, join us in a little meditation, and collectively go ahead and put some loving intention towards this reading. So just inviting everybody here to just take a moment, and when you're ready, just go ahead and close your eyes. Just allow yourself to connect with your breath. Soft, gentle inhales. Soft, gentle exhales. And as you breathe here, Christy, just taking this opportunity to just be able to reflect on gratitude for everybody. Gratitude for yourself, gratitude for this space, gratitude for this community, gratitude for the messages we're about to receive. Beautiful. With this gratitude in your heart, Christy and everybody here, just take a moment to be able to focus on that intention. Show us what we need to see, or show me what I need to see. Show me what I need to see. So Christy, speak that intention with your heart, speak it with your mind, speak it with your soul, speak it with your words. Continuing to focus in on this intention. Take a few breaths here, and Christy, at your own pace, listen to your intuition. When you're ready, type "now" into the chat. And for everybody else, you can gently open your eyes when you're ready and go ahead and add some wizard noises in the chat. So we'll charge up the deck. What mysteries will unfold as we continue to work towards this ultimate goal of awakening consciously within the dream to become more lucid than we have ever been? For this is the journey that we are on, to be able to play our instruments as we sing this song. And so for each of you who are here, let us split the deck as Christy types "now." Whoa, that one jumped out. And see what card shall draw its face and reveal our... What? What is happening here? This is okay. Christy, if we want, we can totally we can do this one. We can do a quick version of this one. But I'm gonna also literally do like a second one for you, Christy. Purely just because this is like not supposed to happen, but apparently it did. Hey guys, guess what card it is? Christy, I don't know if you were here for the first reading, but for everybody who is here for the first reading, guess what card it is? Apparently this message wanted to come through today. The card that we have pulled for Christy and for everybody here is card number 11, the Dark Night of the Soul. Life brings new meaning. This is the different deck though. What is happening? There's a glitch in the matrix. We literally pulled the same card twice from two different decks. And you saw that card. Did you see it jump out? Like, did you see that happen? Yeah, loud and clear coming through on this one. So, Christy, let's just kind of go. I'll do this one just as a quick one, and then let's do one more. Like literally, it's it's totally fine. So, because I'm but at the same time, this has its own write-up, right? So like we'll see what this one says. I'll extrapolate. I'll do this just as I would any other reading. Like rewind, let's just kind of like get right into this. So again, as we're doing this, team, let me just take a moment here to post the links into the chat. We'll still do one more reading for the collective right after this. But again, if you guys would like to be able to send a contribution on Patreon or send a contribution on PayPal or join on Patreon, go ahead and do that, and we'll get ready for our next reading after this one as well. And keep in mind that I have until 8:30 to be able to do these readings, and that's when I have to go pick up Lacey. And a reminder, I'm working towards my goal of 200 supporters on Patreon, and a big part of that is to be able to get things ready from my little fractal baby that's coming through. Honestly, it might be twins, I don't know yet, so you didn't hear it from me, but I feel like, I don't know, man, if it's twins I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just saying. But okay, all right, let's get right into this reading. And yeah, thank you again everyone for hanging out with us. It's good to see some familiar faces here. I love you guys. And yeah, let's dive deep. So looking at this card again, for those of you on TikTok and Instagram, join in on YouTube or Twitch. Links in my profile. That's where the primary camera is. So Dark Night of the Soul, you can see that this is artwork here by Lewis Dyer, and he's a good friend of ours. Super amazing guy. And the image here, you can see that this beautiful face, kind of like an ominous kind of like face hidden within the shadows, but then there's like these beings of light surrounding the face. And there's multiple faces here. Like it's hard to kind of like interpret that other than the fact that there's multiple beings kind of like within the shadow. But I think it's the idea that even within the shadow, we are still these illuminated beings kind of playing within the shadows. So I love the imagery of it. It's almost kind of like beyond words. But let's get right into the reading so we can go a little bit deeper here. So if anybody is feeling called to contribute tonight, just give me a heads up by dropping a 7-7 in the chat. If you're like, oh, I'm gonna do it in a minute, just so you can give us a heads up, and we'll keep an eye on the chat. All right. Well, this message came through loud and clear, so let's see what the message. See, there's gonna be a little bit of a twist on it. So, Christy, everybody here, if you're here, this message is for you. Number 11, Dark Night of the Soul, healing crisis. Life brings new meaning. The Dark Night of the Soul is a deep-seated human experience that can be deeply traumatic, filled with sadness and melancholy. This is an incredibly trying time in the human experience, one filled with constant emotional turmoil, feeling of loss, instability, and darkness. Sometimes the most insignificant event can spiral an individual into a dark night experience. Like the straw that broke the camel's back, your soul has said, enough is enough. It may seem as if the world may be ending, but just as night turns into day, it is a cycle of renewal. Again, as I'm reading this, anything I say, if it resonates with you, drop some 1111s in the chat. You may feel as though you are clouded in darkness, feeling emotionally broken and helpless in your life, feeling alone and isolated, that the world is broken and lost. This lonely, dark space can be difficult to navigate if you have only a limited support network of close friends or family. Know that at any time you can reach out and talk to someone to shift through these challenges. Yeah, I can see like this card, like I'm going to reiterate some stuff that I didn't talk about too much before. Right now, you may be experiencing feelings of deep depression, melancholy, and sadness. Can I get a what if you've been experiencing deep feelings of depression, melancholy, and sadness? Drop a 77 in the chat. Can I get a hello there if you've been experiencing depression and melancholy and sadness? It's okay. Like, I'm honestly like, we're working through it together. So laughter is a big part of the transmutation process. But I'm going to get into some stuff. Right now, you may be experiencing feelings of deep depression, melancholy, and sadness. That a part of you has been lost to the world, never to be seen or heard from again. Like, that's a big part of it, right? A lot of like melancholy is like the grief of loss. And sometimes loss is like the loss of an old way or a loss of an old part of ourselves. However, nothing is ever truly lost. We just outgrow our own surroundings, environment, and personal interests. Like the Earth's cycle of the night, it is always darkest just before the dawn. Did you guys ever realize that my name, Brendan, is like Brendawn? There's like the dawn in my name. It's interesting. Apparently Carly didn't know that, but she like freaking blew her mind when she realized that. She's like, your name has dawn in it? Like, what? How did I not know that? Like the Earth's cycle of the night, it is always darkest just before the dawn. Know that you will be emerging soon with a new lease on life and a greater understanding of who you are as an individual. View this time now as a purification of the senses and spirit. You must face hidden memories, concerns, or stories that are lying beneath the surface if you wish to emerge enlightened, forever transformed by your experience. Stop and surrender to the universe. Shadow aspects, refusal to accept change, passive aggressive, fighting for control. Sacred crystal, hematite. Ooh, I like that crystal. Angel assistance, Archangel Raguel. I love the angel names. I love pronouncing the angel names and like feeling proud of myself for doing that. Archangel Raguel. Conflict resolution, inner harmony. Affirmation, I accept and create positive actions through the cycle of change. Okay, let's dive a little bit deeper into this because like I said, there's a reason this card is coming through. For those of you who are just joining in, like we've done 2 readings so far from 2 separate decks, and we pulled the Dark Night of the Soul both times from 2 separate decks. Couldn't do that twice if we tried. Like that might not happen again for another like millennia, so to speak. But there's a reason this card is coming through. And again, this is because we set the intention, show us what we need to see. And what we need to see is the reminder that it's okay. It's okay to be where we are. But being where we are doesn't mean that we are stuck there. And I think when we acknowledge where we are, that is when we actually claim our power. When we try to get away from where we are, that creates this resistance that almost perpetuates that state even longer. You can't fight your way out of depression. Sometimes it's more about being able to sit with it, to get curious, to open up a dialogue, and then again, to be open to being able to know what can help for you personally. And depression is not just like a simple thing of like, oh, I'm sad. It's part of it. But depression is actually a very complex thing. There's a neuroscience side to it. There's the physiological, there's the emotional, there's the spiritual, there's the societal. Many, many different aspects play into what we identify as depression. But within this, it's important to be able to understand, it kind of reminds me of that quote, give me the grace to control the things I can and accept the things I can't. Something like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. But what can you control within your life? You can control, to the best of your ability, relatively speaking, how you wake up, how you go to sleep, what you put into your mind, what you watch, what you absorb, what you put in front of you, what you eat, who you spend time with, what you do with your energy. And so again, with this card is basically acknowledging that each and every single one of us, in some degree or another, have been experiencing depression. And there's a reason for it, because our depression is not just ours alone. Our depression is actually the depression of the collective. Can I get a hello there? Like seriously, right? Like that's what we're feeling. We're not just feeling sad because we're feeling sad. We're feeling sad because we're empathetically connecting to what's happening within the entire grid right now. We're sad because we're like, dude, these people are my friends and they're suffering, and I'm not sure how I can help them. And that's okay. But you can help yourself. And when you do help yourself, you actually do help them. And so rather than trying to go out and save other people, it's important to be able to really reflect on what it is that I need. What do I need? Where do I feel happy? What within my past made me happy? And maybe I can't do the exact same version of that, but maybe I can do something similar. Maybe there's old habits that I like to do that used to bring me joy that I haven't done in a while, and I don't know why I stopped doing them, but maybe I should start doing them again. Why did I stop painting? Why did I stop journaling? Why did I stop meditating every morning? Why did I stop buying decent food at the grocery store? Why did I stop exercising and things like that? And again, this is like me talking from experience, right? Like I can speak on this from experience, as we all can. But within this, you have a choice. You have a choice to be able to cultivate this degree of self-awareness where it's like, oh, if I make these changes, I'm cultivating an energetic vortex that is actually going to be able to help birth happiness. And happiness in itself doesn't necessarily like solve depression, but from a neuroscience state, what you want to be able to do is change your brain state, change your consciousness. So the reason why we are in depression is because the brain does what it is most familiar with. And so if we are, again, like that's like, do I have depression? No, you are doing depression. Again, relatively speaking, I know there's like complexities to it when it comes to chemicals produced within the brain. But even then, anxiety and things like that, do you have anxiety? No, you are doing anxiety. The brain does what the brain naturally repeats what it does a lot. And so if you are doing anxiety a lot, you will continue to perpetuate anxiety. And what's causing your anxiety? Maybe it's like looking at the news feed. Probably. It's probably like spending too much time on like Twitter and reading the news. And it's okay to take a pulse, but man, you can get sucked into that real easily. I've done it too. Find the things within your life that are going to produce those healthy dopamines, that are going to motivate you in a way that gives you something to be able to feel good about. So if that's exercise, if that's spending time with friends, if that's tuning into a broadcast like this and connecting with a community that gets you, that understands that there's no shame in being where you are. And once you accept where you are, that gives you the power to be able to change where it is that you're going to go. And so again, what I said before, like this is realizing that you are responsible, but you don't have to do it all by yourself. You can reach out to help. They're professionals. Like if you're like looking for a person, like if you're like feeling like my brain is like totally like broken and I need to figure out how to like change my brain and everything like that, send me a DM and I'll send you to my buddy. Like he is like a freaking expert on this stuff. I've learned a decent amount from him. He changes people's brains for a living. And he had depression. Like he went through anxiety and depression. He went through his dark night of the soul, and it actually motivated him to learn as much as he could about neuroscience and neuroplasticity, as well as spirituality, and integrate it into this holistic perspective to give people the tools to help themselves. And he helps people get out of anxiety, and he helps people get out of depression. So the society didn't really teach us how to get out of our dark night of the soul. If anything, when you think about it, society actually thrives by keeping us within our dark night of the soul. Because when we're in our dark night of the soul, what are we usually doing? We're usually consuming, because consuming is where we find our comforts. And when we consume, we feed the machine. And when we feed the machine, it creates more products, and then it gives us more to consume, and it creates this vicious cycle. It's not bad to be able to enjoy things that you like and purchase a little thing here and there. But again, when you're doing it to a point where it becomes unconscious, and that is like your baseline state, that's where it becomes an issue. So what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to, again, and state the obvious. Everything I'm saying, don't take it as professional advice. Like, hey, I'm just one guy. I'm speaking from my experience. Everything you should do is something that you should do with, your own concepts and choices, and reach out to experts that can help you for the professional things that you need. But again, speaking on the dark night of the soul, as I'm just kind of like going deep into this, it's the little things. It's the little things that can totally transform things. And I think one of the most important things about that is surrounding yourself with community, surrounding yourself with people who will motivate you, who will remind you. Because I think we're at our lowest within the dark night of the soul when we feel like we don't have any options. when we feel like we don't have any choices. And yet, a single conversation with a member in a community, a single broadcast like this, you just happening to tune in, may be something that literally just kind of like helps you be like, oh yeah, I forgot that I had a choice. And we can do it together. Like, honestly, like the fact that I'm going to be doing like the team meditations in the morning, like Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. EDT, starting next week, I'm restarting those team meditations. I'm doing those because I'm creating a space that will actually help us move through states of depression, because it shifts our brain state, our conscious state, into a state of gratitude, into a state of presence, into a state of deep breathing, connection with our breath, parasympathetic breathing, moving that oxygen through the body, and then also into places of laughter, and also places into creative expression, creative imagination. These states are very, very, very powerful. And again, you know, like when you're in a state where you're activating that part of your brain, it's hard to be like in depression state at the same time. You may be in that state and then kind of switch back to depression state. But if you activate that state more and more and more and more and more, it becomes a regular thing. Oh yeah, every morning I do a meditation. Every morning I tune in to Mystic Spider-Man, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. EDT, and we do a little meditation. And as we're doing it, the brain gets used to it. Boom, 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 boom. That becomes what it starts repeating. And so again, you know, the dark night of the soul is something where it really forces us to look at ourselves, and it'll force us to be able to say, do I want things to stay as they are, or do I want things to change? And it's important when you're in that point where you're like, okay, yes, I want things to change. How do I change? That's where community is so important, because when you know that you're not just carrying this on your own, then it suddenly becomes something that we are carrying together, and you aren't carrying it on your own. You're so incredibly strong, and you probably could carry it on your own, but you don't have to carry it on your own. And so let's create these spaces together where we can cultivate this joy, where we can cultivate this excitement, where we can cultivate this hope, where we can give ourselves something to look forward to and create a story that we see ourselves in, and to really able to activate and align with that archetype of being able to see that we are the hero of our own journey. And what happens within the hero's journey? It goes through the cycle. And a big part of that cycle is, you know, the tribulation, the challenge, the uncertainty, the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul is like part of the wheel of the hero's journey. So when you understand that that's a wheel, you understand that it's also a chapter. And it's up to us to be able to move through it. But again, you know, within this card, even though we did this card twice, this one I'm just feeling called to really just kind of hit upon the things that obviously are just kind of coming through. Finding community and finding common vision, finding common purpose radically changes your life. And then through that, either individually or with a community, creating those new routines, shifting that focus. Like, what is being experienced at the dark night of the soul, in 2 weeks, you could shift into something where it's like, whoa, that dark night of the soul, that crappy situation actually propelled me into a new state where I was inspired to live healthier, to live at a higher vibrational state, to be more mindful of what state of consciousness I'm in, and then to switch into a state of consciousness of my choice using the skill sets that I have available, such as meditation, such as neuroscience, such as diet, such as sleep patterns, such as journaling, such as fitness, exercise, such as social interaction, talking with people, engaging in the things that are actually going to nurture my spirit, not just, you know, continue to just kind of like get it caught in a loop sort of thing. So if this resonates with you, drop some 1111s in the chats, and let me just take a pulse here. And is Ren tuned in right now? Ren, did you just contribute on the PayPal? Ren, where are you turned in right now? I'm not sure if Ren's tuned in, but yeah, if this resonates with you guys, go ahead and leave some 1111s in the chat. Christy, if this resonates with you, because again, you know, there's a myth that, you know, we've created where it's like, oh, the dark night of the soul is, you know, like this bad thing. But is it? It's not pleasant, but it propels us. Thank you for helping me is one of the most powerful mantras you could ever carry with you. Even if you don't fully believe it, go to sleep tonight and say, thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me, dark night of the soul, because tomorrow I'm going to wake up with more intention. Fuck you, I'm not staying in this. Fuck you. Like literally saying like, fuck you, Dark Night of the Soul, in a loving way. I'm not staying here. I'm moving forward. I am the hero of my journey. I am propelling myself through will into the next stage, into the next chapter, into something where I have the opportunity to be able to decide what happens next to the best of my ability. And what happens next, you may not fully know, but at least you'll be able to choose how you respond. So, yes, Dark Night of the Soul, once again, very, very powerful card. You must face hidden memories, concerns, or stories that are lying beneath the surface that you wish to emerge enlightened, forever transformed by your experience. You are here to be able to make the unconscious conscious. The Dark Night of the Soul is literally for that purpose. Hey, like, you know, like imagine not going through the Dark Night of the Soul. You see what happens. People who don't go through the Dark Night of the Soul. There's a new show right now. And I see you guys' comments. Christy, I see your comment. It says, Christy says, I need to tell you, you're on point. 2 weeks ago, my father had a heart attack. I've been putting him first, and I've been running ragged. I've been sad. I'm tired. All my love and light lockdown. Christy, sending you so much love. Everybody here, just send some good vibes for Christy. And again, you know, at times like where like things are hard, literally just having like even just a little community like this where, you know, we're turning in here and there to just kind of say like, you know, maybe even just someone from here might want to just be like, hey, Christy, if you want, send me a DM, you know, just have a little support network. Because I think when you just allow yourself to just kind of say like, oh, like, you know, I don't have to carry this all by myself, and to give yourself something to look forward to, whatever that may be. Like, honestly, like I know that me doing these tarot broadcasts can be that for some people. For some people, like this broadcast, because I've seen it happen before. This community, I've seen it happen before, where there's like, this community was my light when I was in darkness, and it led me into something else. And you made that choice, but just to know that it is there, to know that there is someone there who is just, you know, there to hold space, there to acknowledge, there to love, there to appreciate. And Christy, like, I'll say this to you in a way, Christy, where without it even trying to be focused too much on you personally, I just want to say, Christy, like sincerely, on behalf of the universe, thank you for being there for those that you love. Thank you for being there for your father. I'm sure your father, his spirit could say it in its own way, but on behalf of the universe that is in your father, on behalf of all of us who have fathers, thank you. And again, you know, like grief, whole nother topic in itself. What a powerful lesson that is. My goodness. It sucks. But holy cow, the only reason we grieve is because we love so much. And when you experience grief, that in itself is also experiencing an incredibly profound form of love. And I think when you just take the opportunity to just like really just kind of be like, whoa, this is life, to be able to love so deeply. And I hope, not just for you, Christy, but for anybody who goes through grief, that through those dark nights of the soul, it actually teaches us how to be able to love more deeply, shows us how much we can love more deeply, and it teaches us how to be able to return to that. And then when the time comes where you start to move on and the healing process takes place, you will carry with you a deep wisdom and a deep empathy that says, holy shit, every day I'm going to love a little bit more. I was asleep before this happened, and now I am awake. And I am loving deeper than I had been before. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me grief. Thank you for helping me Dark Night of the Soul. That doesn't say, hey, I'm, you know, it's not denying the fact that it sucks. But if you can acknowledge that as a soul, it has shown you a deeper part of your own love that perhaps hadn't even been seen by yourself, then there's a reason for that. So, Christy, sending you so much love. And I hope what I say there, you know, if it resonates with other people, I hope it means something to you too. So we'll wrap up this reading here. Christy, that went a little bit deeper than I planned. But we can do another reading. I just got to keep an eye on the time. We'll do at least one more reading. I'm not sure if Lauren is tuned in right now. Lauren Renar, if you're tuned in right now and you're looking for that reading, let us know. And Chrissy, if it's okay with you, I'd love to just do the next reading for yourself, but also for Lauren. And we'll just kind of make, because Lauren did send a contribution through, and we'll do that next reading on air. Because yeah, I'm like, oh, I'll just do like a 5-minute one on this, but I'm like, oh, apparently Spirit wants to bring it a little bit more. So if you feel satisfied with that one, Chrissy, and you're okay with moving on to the next reading for Lauren, just facilitating, but again, it'll still be for everyone. Just let me know if that's okay. And yeah, thank you everyone here for just sending love to Chrissy. If you guys want to write another affirmation for this card, go ahead. It's something about the dark night of the soul. So I'll just take a moment here. I know that in the midst of darkness, one of the most important things to be able to remember is that we are not alone, and that together our lights will guide us through the darkness. We are the light within the darkness. My light is special, your light is special, and we're all healing together. So whew. Am I gonna cry on our first tarot broadcast back on air? Maybe. Maybe. Chrissy, thank you so much. We'll move on to one more reading. Lori, I see you on TikTok. Thank you so much, Lori. Lori contributed with the PayPal. Super, super appreciated. And we'll get into this next reading for Lori. I'm keeping an eye on the time. I have until about 8:30. That's when I have to go pick up Lacey from work, my girlfriend, my fiance, my child's mother. So my little fractal baby who is still spawning. I mean, it's still alive. It's just a little thing right now. And Lori, if you just Lori, did you just tune in recently? If so, just go ahead and let me know, and I'll just kind of reiterate. And again, for those of you who are here, if you guys, I'll just reiterate real quick. If you guys want a reading when I'm on air doing these, I'll be doing another broadcast tomorrow. I think probably around the same time. You can contribute on PayPal with a single contribution if you guys prefer that, which is always super appreciated. And the ask contribution for that is $5. If you guys want to contribute more, we do it as kind of like a pay it forward thing, and basically we're just doing readings nonstop. Or you can join on Patreon. Patreon is a monthly contribution, so it's a little different option. But when you join on Patreon at the $11 or higher, that gives you the option to join as a leading member in our Paradigm Shift Central community. That gives you access to some of the exclusive events that I host, including the Dream Den me and Lacey are doing, the Dream Discussion, and also the Flow Tree workshops, our synergy circles, our conscious media creator work periods, and also like other perks and everything like that. So if you're really feeling, you're just like, man, I want to be a part of this community and I want to connect further with Brendan, definitely look into the Patreon. And again, a reminder real quick, and we'll get right into Lori's. If you do sign up for the Patreon at the $33 level, not only does that give you a once a month one-on-one reading with me, but you could also get limited edition, limited offer, Light Guardian Crystal, just pay shipping. And that's what I'm offering as like a special gift. And you can see the Light Guardian Crystals are these handmade items that I made. They're like ancient trinkets from Atlantis and Lemuria that I make. And if you contribute at the $33 level, you still get like all the perks, the one-on-one reading once a month, and that, which is like worth like $30, $45 in itself. So if you guys are thinking of signing up for the Patreon either soon, even if you don't sign up live while I'm on air, you can still sign up and then we can still do a private reading. Drop a 555 if you're thinking of signing up on the Patreon, like in general. And even if you signed up for the PayPal and you still want to sign up for the Patreon, that's always an option as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Super, super appreciated. Lori, let's get ready to go into our next reading. I'll post the links just for the Patreon and the PayPal. They are in the links in my profile for those of you on TikTok and Instagram. If you guys have any questions about those, just message me at any point. And thank you to those of you tuned in on TikTok, on Twitch. We got, how many? I got 9 followers on Twitch now. Yeah, we just started on Twitch. So if you get, honestly, if you guys go on Twitch and then just type in tarot and there's like a category for tarot, it's pretty cool. So like that's the category that we're broadcasting under right now. So hopefully more people are synchronistically finding us. And if you're one of them, thank you. All right, Lori, we're gonna let you choose a deck. So the decks that we have available. So Lori, I know you're on, Lori, if you wanna jump over to, Lori, do you have YouTube on your phone? If you have YouTube on your phone, I would recommend jumping over to YouTube. That way, because that's like the primary broadcast where the rest of the community is tuned in from. If not, just be like, I'll stay on TikTok. Okay, so Lori, click the link in my profile. And right at the top, it says live on YouTube. Open that and then leave a message there and just say like, I'm on YouTube. Because that's the primary camera and the audio is a little bit better. So if you want to do that real quick, just say, okay, I'm going to do that now. And we'll just give you a couple minutes just to be able to make the jump there. It'll just take a second. And if you can do that, that would be appreciated. But either way, whatever works. So cool. And again, I'll just take a moment here just to be able to send my appreciation for everyone. I love you guys so much. This is awesome. We've had a few contributions tonight. It's super appreciated. It helps. This is what I do as my devotion, and I'm super excited to be able to help support you guys on your journey as well. So working towards that Patreon goal of 111 is our next milestone. But again, also working towards my goal of 200 Patreon supporters really as soon as possible. And what we're doing there is we're doing it again to be able to, like, straight up, me hustling right now is also me like hustling for my family. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm manually building my Patreon to the point where Lacey doesn't have to worry about work. Like right now she works at a restaurant and stuff, and as things move forward, I'd much rather her just be able to focus on staying at home and, you know, being there, and I'll take care of her and she can work on her art and everything like that. So when you guys are supporting on my Patreon, you're not just supporting me, you're supporting the community, you're supporting yourself, and you're supporting the family that we're raising here of myself, Lacey, and our little light baby. So and thank you guys so much for the kind words relative to the pregnancy announcement. Lauren, I see you on the YouTube. So let's get right into this. Again, I'm going to make sure we get this done before I have to jump off at 8:30. I got to go pick Lacey up. It might go a little bit past 8:30, but not too, well, actually, no, 8:30 is pushing it. So let's get right into this. And right before we do that, Amanda, the person who we did the reading for just earlier, did just join on the Patreon. Thank you, Amanda, so much. Let me just update the graphic real quick. And Lori, as we're just getting things ready here, I'll invite you and everybody here. Let's give a nice thank you to Amanda and a nice welcome to Amanda. Amanda joined at the $11 level, so that's the leading member level. So Amanda will be able to get involved with some of the events that we got coming up. And Lori, I'm going to get you to choose one of the decks. So just give me 2 seconds here. I'm just updating the on-screen graphics manually. And we will get right into that next reading. And again, this will be a reading for Lori, but it'll really be a reading for anybody who's tuned in. So there's Amanda. Amanda, thank you so much, Amanda, for joining on the Patreon. Guys, let's give a nice warm welcome to Amanda. And again, another welcome to Lori for Lori's contribution, and for Amanda for joining on the Patreon as well. So Lori, thank you so much for joining. You're going to get to choose which deck you would like to use. We have the Ananda Tarot deck, which is like traditional tarot. We have the Hero's Journey deck, which we haven't done today. We have the Lightworker Oracle deck, which is always a good choice. I love this deck. And we also have the Sacred Spirit deck, which is the one that we just did. So if there's one of those that you would like to be able to pick from, just go ahead and let us know. And we will get right into that next reading. And yeah, thank you guys so much. This has been awesome. So we're at 101 on Patreon. I love you guys so much. Amanda, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram, and we'll make sure you're connected there, and I'll get you synced up with the Discord. And yeah, for those of you on TikTok and Instagram, feel free to jump over to YouTube, and Lori will confirm which deck you want to use, and then we'll get right into this next reading, and we'll dive deep. Thank you again to Amanda, to Christy, to Lauren, to Lori, and yeah, I'm excited to just be able to be back into doing this with you guys. Super appreciated. And this is something that like it brings me like this like honestly, like me doing these broadcasts is a way for me to even kind of like move through my own like kind of like stagnancy at times. I'm like, man, like doing this, like this is my purpose, like serving others and creating this space like this, like I get excited about this. So thank you guys for being here, and I hope the excitement is felt and shared. So Lori, just to confirm, if you would like to choose a deck, Sacred Spirit, okay, the Oracle deck, Lightworker Oracle deck, perfect. All right, let's get right into this, keeping an eye on the time. And okay, here we go. All right, Lightworker Oracle deck. So Lori, I'm not sure if you saw before, but again, the way how we do this, I don't do these necessarily as like a fortune telling. This is a way for us to be able to receive a message from the universe to give us additional inspiration and guidance on our journey. So when we do this, what we're going to do, Lori, we're going to do a quick little meditation for everybody here. We're going to focus on the intention, show us what we need to see. And as we focus in on this intention, what we'll do, we'll just be doing this meditation. And then Lori, I'm going to prompt you to take a few breaths. You'll follow my instructions. And then intuitively, you'll type now into the chat, and that's when I'll split the deck. So basically, I'll be following your cue, and you will be essentially like choosing the card through us working together. So Lori, if you're ready, just go ahead and type ready into the chat. There's a bit of a delay on the YouTube, just so you know, but I assume you're ready. And with that said, we'll get right into the meditation, and then we'll get right into this, the last reading for today. And thank you guys so much. So, okay. Just waiting for the confirmation from Lori, and then we'll get right into the meditation. So thank you guys. I love you guys so much. This has been awesome. We've had several contributions tonight. We've had a Patreon sign up, and yeah, stay tuned. I'll be back here again tomorrow night, probably around the same time, because Lacey works around the same time. So working on essentially doing these like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to the best of my ability. So, and then next week we got our other events starting throughout the week. So, okay, Lori, I assume you're ready. So here we go. All right. So for everybody here, just go ahead and take a moment, just close your eyes, and we'll just do a little meditation. So for everybody here, as I just charge the deck, just take this opportunity to just connect with your breath. Just breathe. Soft, gentle inhales. Soft, gentle exhales. And Lori, and for everybody here, as you breathe here, just allowing yourself to connect with gratitude. Gratitude for yourself, gratitude for this space, for this community, for the messages that we are here to receive. And as you're here in this space of gratitude for Lori and for everybody, just take this opportunity to be able to focus on the intention, show us what we need to see, or show me what we need to see. So speak that intention with your heart, speak it with your mind, speak it with your soul, speak it with your words. Show us what we need to see. Lori, as you continue to breathe here, just listening to your intuition, take your time, and when you're ready, you can type now into the chat. For everybody else, gently open your eyes, and you guys can type your wizard noises into the chat and help me add some more magic. So what magic there truly is to see between now and the ever-unfolding infinity. For my friends, we are the wizards and the mystics, born to be the alchemists that will change the landscape of this reality. And so as we welcome in this dawn of the new earth, let us see what cards will be pulled as we continue to journey through the joy of this rebirth. Just charging the deck with that magic as Lori is about to type now into the chat. And then we will split the deck and see what message the universe has. You guys can go ahead, type your wizard noises in the chat. And Lori types now into the chat. Here we go. All right, place your bets on what the card is. It's not the Dark Knight of the Soul. I mean, I haven't checked yet. I assume it's not. So, all right, beautiful. Oh, this is a lovely card. I know Lori will like this card. So, the card that we have pulled, last reading for today, as we get ready to wrap things up and end it off with some inspiration. The card that we have pulled is card number 34. Hold your center. Card number 34. Hold your center. Again, for those of you on TikTok and Instagram, jump over to YouTube. Links in my profile. and you can get the primary camera feed from there. So we're going to explain this just by going over the visual image. We'll just explain it real quick, and then we'll read from the book, and then I'll just kind of channel in the additional inspiration. Again, if anybody wants to join on the PayPal or Patreon, you guys can still do that now. We can always bring the readings into the next time, but we can always sign up a little bit later, and I'll be back here in the future. So maybe I'll back here later tonight. No, I don't know. We'll see. I think I'll be sleeping later tonight. Okay, looking at this card here, and let's dive into it. So hold your center. This beautiful image of this woman sitting on the steps, and behind her this kind of what you can think of as like the higher dimensional version of herself. Now she's clearly standing here within this gateway, and at this point I'm just like explaining it literally. Like that's basically like what we're doing here. We're just painting the picture literally. So you can see she's standing here within this gateway arch, and there's also like this dove like right above. So you can kind of interpret the symbolism as you wish. And there's a beautiful landscape behind her, this beautiful like floral and kind of garden behind her. And yeah, this is, and she also has like a beautiful crown. I'm sure a lot of the people tuned in right now can be like, oh, like that looks like me, or like that's like how I imagine myself to look. And I assure you, you all are goddesses. Each and every single one of you. There's a little goddess inside me, apparently. So, all right, let's open up the book. Let's dive a little bit deeper. For everybody here, if you're here, this message is for you. Thank you for Lori. Thank you to everyone. And go ahead and just listen. You can kind of meditate while I'm reading this to you. So let it speak to your soul. Here we go. Number 34. Hold your center. Have you been rushing out to meet others, trying to bend or accommodate their needs at the expense of your own well-being and inner peace? Now you are to strengthen your own energy, your own boundaries, to find your ground, firmly place your feet there, and do not move. Feel your feet anchoring like a beautiful tree. Let yourself experience quiet certainty as you hold your center with commitment, courage, and consciousness. Again, as we're reading this, if anything I say resonates, drop an 1111 in the chat. You are learning to trust your own instincts, to take your own journey without comparison to the life path of another. There is no need to become disheartened or distracted by comparisons or judgments. The earth needs your light, which can only come from you. You will offer so much less if you try to make it match your beauty to what you perceive to be the beauty of another. Many souls who are different and unique were not understood. Many souls who are different and unique were not understood, acknowledged, and valued for whom they were as children. Instead, they were encouraged to conform, to change, to be other than the true self in order to be loved. This can be a hard pattern to break, yet the time is here for you to love and honor yourself as yourself. You are beautiful. You do not need to change for another. You certainly do not need to change for the divine. You are being encouraged instead to distill your essence, to become even more you. Hold your center now and do not be rattled by any other through intimidation, confrontation, doubt, jealousy, or fear. To hold your center means you accept your innate value and worth, your right to exist and thrive, and accept the love that created you as you in order to fulfill your divine destiny. This oracle brings you confirmation. You are on the right path. You do not need to collapse into fear or doubt to ease guilt or make others more comfortable. Let me reread that part again. You are on the right path. You do not need to collapse into fear or doubt to ease old guilt or make others more comfortable. How many of us have dealt with that? Kind of like tiptoeing around others' triggers? It is not selfish or hard for you to be strong. You can hold yourself in high esteem and be gentle and loving to others, whilst absolutely refusing to accept any behavior, belief, or attitude of another that would tear you down or cast you into doubt or self-hatred. Again, if this is resonating with you, drop some 1111s. As part of your spiritual training, your soul learned to be open, to receive guidance and channel healing. This is what you needed to be able to do to function as a healer, channel, and light worker. Okay, let me reread that part. That's very, very, very important. As part of your spiritual training, your soul learned to be open to receive guidance and channel healing. This is what you needed to be able to function as a healer, channel, and light worker. You had to be sensitive, receptive, and open. Now is the time to balance that with resilience, strength, and even some divine stubbornness. Refusing to give up who you are while remaining open to guidance is the balance of loving wisdom necessary to grow yourself as a divinely unique individual in a world that often fears true individuality. Simply because it cannot be easily controlled. Holding your center doesn't mean you no longer surrender. Instead, you consciously choose to surrender into divine love and grow more empowered. Whoa, that's deep. Let me reread that part. Holding your center doesn't mean that you no longer surrender. Instead, you consciously choose to surrender into divine love and grow more empowered. You are here to shine a light, to be a lighthouse for others. The lighthouse doesn't ask for permission to shine. It stands still, shines faithfully, and those who need it are guided by its light to safety. Shine to safety. Do not lose faith in yourself, beloved soul. You know who you are. Be strong, honor your beauty and your personal boundaries. You need to feel safe in your ability to say no as much as you need to know that you will say yes when your heart guides you to do so. Be true to you. Then there's an invocation here, which I'll read in a second. I'm just going to kind of like channel through some more. Again, for those of you on TikTok or Instagram, excuse me, go ahead and click the link in my profile to be able to tune in on YouTube. We got most of the team on YouTube right now, and this is our last reading for today, but we'll be wrapping it up here in a bit. And again, for those of you who want to be able to join on Patreon or contribute on PayPal, you can do that at any point. And I do also offer individual readings. If you guys want to do an individual reading, I usually do that for about $30 individual, like one-on-one person session. So when you guys get like the live reading here, it's obviously a little bit more of a bargain, but it's also a different format. But yeah, feel free to check that out. All the info you need is in the links in this video. DM me on Instagram if you got any questions. Let's dive deep. So again, this is a very, very powerful card, and I think it's a great card that really goes off the previous cards that we got. And one thing you'll notice, especially if you tune into these broadcasts more often, is that you'll notice that the cards will actually complement each other. Like they will build off of each other. And so with this card, again, you know, this card has a lot to do with aspects of the dark night of the soul. But more specifically, again, one of the themes within this card that I think is so powerful and needed for us to be able to really just take time to meditate on is the idea of not comparing ourselves to others. It's okay to look to others, to be able to be inspired by them, to be able to learn from them, to be able to seek guidance from them. But when we are holding back on expressing ourselves because of fear of someone else's judgment, fear of someone else's opinion, fear of someone else's expectation, that in itself can really just kind of like stifle our light. You know, it kind of reminds me of a lot of like the Sagittarius card, Sagittarius archetype, the Sagittarius astrological sign, where what does the Sagittarius want to do? It's like born to fly. It's a bird, right? And so with the Sagittarius, you know, oftentimes their journey is a journey where they will be put in situations where like their wings are chained. Like they're like stuck to a boulder and people are like, no, like don't live that way. You shouldn't live that way. And that cycle might repeat. But at the same time, what happens when we're in that space where we experience what it's like to not be in our center, to not be kind of like living our truest self, is that it propels us towards emancipating ourselves. It propels us towards communicating our needs more clearly. It propels us towards being able to really do that which makes our heart sing. And so with this card, I think, again, this card is a very, very powerful card that's gently reminding us, you know, for Lori and for everybody here, is to take time to reflect on who are you? Who are you when you are in your center? Not who are you when you're worrying about the news, and who are you when you're trying to impress somebody else who doesn't actually care about your journey. Not who are you when you're trying to like, you know, like put on some sort of like fake version of yourself just because you're trying to like impress someone. Who are you? Who are you when you sit with your thoughts? Who are you when you sit with your uncertainty? Who are you when you sit with your passion? Who are you when you listen to your soul? Really, really, really listen to your soul. What does your soul want? And so in the process of being able to center ourselves is a process of really being able to step into that power. When we center ourselves, it's like this calibration. Imagine there's like kind of like all of these like kind of like images all happening at once. And when we center ourselves, it's kind of like shifting the focus on a lens where what was once blurry kind of like all kind of comes in. And it all just comes into one clear image. And it's like an encapsulating part of that image that is made up of all of these different kind of like kaleidoscopic fractals. But until we kind of like narrow it in, until we dial it in, until we focus it in, it might be hard to express those parts of ourselves. You know, there may be parts of ourselves where it's just like, oh, like I think this is what I want, and I know this is who I am, and I'd like to be able to do this, but it may not be really coming through in a clear way. And so the process of centering ourselves is really getting clear on, this is who I am. These are my boundaries. Like, that's a huge thing. These are my wants. These are my desires. These are my goals. These are my needs. This is my light. And to have that as clear as possible, instead of having your light kind of being like unconsciously kind of like siphoned into someone else's expectation based on society, you know, kind of like weighing down on you and everything like that. So when it comes to revolutions of consciousness, when it comes to really being able to make a difference in this world, you know, making a difference in this world, it's an external thing and it's an internal thing. But the internal thing is what changes the world. You can go out there and you can protest as much as you want, but until every single person cleans their own doorstep, the world shall not be clean. You know, if every single person swept their, that's like an old Chinese proverb. If every person swept their own doorstep, the world would be clean. And so in the process of holding your center, not just finding your center, but holding your center, that is such a powerful lesson here within this card, because you may be able to hold your center. And then what does that mean? Holding your center is, again, you know, practice of like, you know, meditation and mindfulness to be able to have the flexibility to change your state of consciousness in situations that will test you, in situations where someone says like, be like, hey, like, I think what you're doing is really stupid and I think it's dumb and I don't think you should do it. Who are you in that moment? Now, there may be valuable feedback for you to be able to receive from that. That's okay. But if you are in your center, you can be like, thanks, but no thanks. Like, I'm doing my thing. Your opinion is your opinion, and that's okay. You know, depending on who it is, you can literally just tell them to screw off. That's okay. Or you can politely just be like, that's nice, but, you know, my focus is so on point. My focus is one of the most valuable, important things to me. And I think, you know, with this card, I would say for each and every single one of us here, if I can just really give you something to be able to focus on, it's to really fall in love with your focus. Value your focus. Really, like, check in with yourself. How is your focus right now? Is it kind of like in a few different places? Like, is it consciously where it needs to be? It can be on a few different places at once. That's okay. But if it's like being, you know, like siphoned into someone else, an energy vampire here, the media here, you know, like things in the back of our mind that we haven't fully healed, all of these things, become aware of that. And then choose what comes next. And so when we are in our center, that's when we're in our power, because that's when, you know, like, walk like a golden god and take no bullshit. You literally become like Neo from the Matrix, where people will shoot bullets at you and they will not be able to hit you because you are so in your center. And in your center, you're also in the truth of your heart. And through the truth of your heart, you are, again, kind of like on this path where like each and every single step is like one made with intention. Not necessarily one that, you know, you're like 100% certain of, but intuitively within your heart, you're like, I know this step is leading to the next. I trust that as I am in my center, this is leading me to where I need to be. And as you do this, this is literally the process of being in your center, is basically aligning with your dharma. It's aligning with your golden path. Your karma is the energy that pushes you onto the path when you fall off of it. Your dharma is the path. As you work on centering yourself, you will continue to align yourself with your Dharma. And as you do this, you'll notice things like synchronicities start to occur, start to run into the right people at the right time, start to receive messages that really touch your heart. Tune into broadcasts like this, connect to communities that we got going on, be like, whoa, this is opening up some doors. And it doesn't mean you literally have to like always be on your center. But if you know how to get back there, that's the important thing. And to know what your tools are. And that's where, again, like meditation, like checking in with your basic needs. How is your food? Diet? How is your sleep? Sunlight? Interactions with others? Your truth? Are you speaking your truth? Like these little things all add into the calibration of being able to allow yourself to be much more in your center as a consistent state of being. And so if you're kind of like checking in with yourself and be like, am I in my center? Like, am I? Like, what is it like when I'm not in my center? When I'm not in my center, maybe I'm more susceptible to the mind control of media. I am more impressionable by others, basically kind of like controlling me unconsciously. When you are in your center, you are a sovereign being. There's one thing that I will say here that's really, really powerful, and then we're going to get close to wrapping it up. And Lori and anybody else, if this resonates with you, drop some 1111s. Anything I've said, if it resonates with you, drop some 1111s. When you're in your center, this is a very, very powerful message. And just in general, no one can take your power from you. You can only give it away to them unconsciously or consciously. Most times unconsciously. So when you realize this, you become more aware when things in your life are trying to take their power from you. You literally do. You're like, wait a second. I don't know about the media. Like that, like, what's this? Like, what's this coming through? Like, like authority, like, I don't know about that, right? Or like it could be a social situation, somebody, just kind of like not really respecting your boundaries and stuff like that. Now you can be like, oh, okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of my power. I'm going to give you a little bit of my time and my energy and my courtesy, and that's okay. But at the same time, I'm going to do it in a way where I'm going to say like, and here's my boundary. Have a nice day. Happy to help. All the best. And that's okay. You can do that politely, because at the end of the day, honoring yourself is the most important thing for you to do. Taking care of yourself is the most important thing. And then as you do that, it allows you to show up for others, relatively speaking. I'm not saying, like don't go out of your way to help people, but as you fill your cup, you can use the overfill to spread others as well. So again, with this card, I think it's an important card to just kind of check in with yourself. Do you feel like you're in your center? And if you don't, that's okay. At least you're conscious of the fact that you don't feel like you're in your center. And what can you do to help you feel like you're in your center? What are the things that help you come back to your center? Your breath, meditation, a good meal, being present, hanging out with people who you really enjoy spending time with, exercise, listening to music, spending time in nature, journaling, just getting a good sleep, watching a movie that you like love, that inspires you, whatever the case may be. Nurture your heart and nurture your soul, because if you expect others to do it for you, then you're in for a rude awakening, because there's a hell of a lot of things in this world that don't want to nurture your heart and soul. They want to suck things from it. But once you become aware of that, you can be like, yeah, I'm not giving you my energy, because I'm in my center. When I'm in my center, I am in my self-awareness, I'm in my consciousness, I'm in my truth. I am in the place where I say yes to where my energy goes. Give yourself that choice. Give yourself that power. Reclaim it. And as you do, it allows you to show up for others as well. So that's what's happening in this world right now. Going back to the dark night of the soul and everything that we were talking about with the previous readings, right now, collectively, we all need to be able to hold our center, because we will be tested. And that's what will happen. Like literally, we'll go through these phases in life, and I'm going to wrap it up here because I do have to head out in a minute, where, congratulations, you did it. You found your center. You found your Zen. You found your nirvana. You found that Zen place within you where it's just like, and stuff like that. And what happens next? It's just like something challenges you. Something goes wrong, something unexpected. But even in those situations, See it as an opportunity. Be in my center. Ah, yes, test my flexibility. Ah, yes, test my balance. Ah, yes, test my compassion for myself by being able to know that there is always a move I can make to be able to bring myself back to my center. Simple move you can make. Give somatic work. Give yourself a good shake. Do that right now. Move that energy, right? Oftentimes when we kind of like feel like we're like, oh, I'm not in my center and stuff like that, it's like you're literally carrying someone else's energy. You're like the media, you're like absorbing the media's energy. Shake it off. Have these like things that you do throughout your day that really just allow you to move into a place where the energy that you're carrying is your energy, and the energy that you allow in is energy that you are consciously allowing in. And even now, this is the last thing I'll say, and even though I could talk about this for a while, but we do have to wrap it up. It's a very, very powerful idea where basically even negative energy, instead of just imagining you having like a force field that blocks negative energy, instead, this is very powerful, and I hope you carry this with you, Lori, and for anybody else. This is just this idea. Changed my life. Instead of just imagining like, oh, I need a shield to protect me from the negative energy. Oh, negative energy, deflect, deflect, deflect. Instead, imagine like a field around you that transmutes energy, neutralizes it. Because energy is not good nor bad. It's not necessarily negative or positive. It's energy, right? It's our relationship to it that kind of defines that. So when the media sends energy, or someone challenges you, or they say something that you know, like kind of makes you question your confidence or questions your self-worth, instead of that energy just being like, it's like, get away from me, like you can do that, that's okay. But at the same time, you can do it in a way where it hits your field and it neutralizes into just energy, neutral energy. And then as you allow it to come in, you allow it to come in through the self-awareness to be able to say like, thank you for reminding me of my boundaries. I shall enact my power and step into my destiny. Like, thank you for reminding me of my self-worth. Thank you for reminding me of what I will say no to. Because when I say no to that, I'm also saying yes to myself, right? So don't just deflect energy. Any of that negative energy, visualize like this white, like kind of egg force field around you. And then it neutralizes it, and it comes into your field through the power of giving you a choice to be able to say, yes, this is my self-worth. Yes, this is the importance of my center. This is the importance of my focus. Right now, staying in my center and keeping my focus is so freaking important that when things come into your life that try to take you off your course, take you off your focus, you're just like, no. Like, I'm not, maybe a past version of myself might have got sucked into that, but right now, no. And if I want to get involved with it, I will. But the difference is doing it consciously versus unconsciously. So when you're in your center, you're cultivating a degree of consciousness that gives you the choice to be able to decide how you share that energy with the world. And again, gives you the confidence to really be able to shine the unique light that you are without having to compare yourself to others, and to know that, again, by you shining your light, you give permission for others to do the same. You become a permissionary, is the term that I like. So let's wrap it up there. I do have to go. I went a little bit over. Lori, if that resonates with you, drop an 1111 in the chat. Lori says, oh my God, you have no idea how much this applies to exactly what I'm going through. Thank you, Lori. I'm happy to be able to hear that, and sending you so much love. And Amanda, thank you for dropping the 1111s as well. Sarah in the Instagram, thank you for your comments. And Cancer, I Am Motivation, thank you as well on TikTok. I'm going to read the invocation here, and go ahead and write out a little affirmation based on the message of this card, just to tell your body that you got the message. So, invocation. Imagine you're telling this to yourself right now. I am empowered by divine love to hold my center, to be in my truth, to stay strong, to be in my integrity, and to act with courage. The only energy I invite and allow to remain in my field is that which supports me unconditionally with genuine love, right? That's what we were saying. I love my boundaries. They are the way I lovingly choose which energy to invite into my life and which energy I choose to pass right by me. I do not judge, but I do choose wisely. I love myself and my life path. I hold myself with powerful and caring commitment. May all beings know their true inner strength through mine own free will and unconditional love. So be it. There we go. Very, very powerful card. Quick affirmation. I encourage you guys to write out an affirmation in the chat just to kind of like tell your body that you're listening. So go ahead. It can be like an I am or a we are affirmation. So I am continuing to practice becoming more familiar with what it feels like to be in my center, and continuing to consciously share my energy and setting my boundaries with loving intention. So while continuing to move forward to do my best, build an awesome team, inspire others, and yeah, change the world. So card number 34, hold your center. Very, very powerful card. Hey, Kristen. And with that said, we're going to wrap it up. I do have to go. I got to go pick up Lacey from work. I don't think I'll be back on tonight, but I will be back on tomorrow. For those of you on Twitch, be sure to subscribe so you guys can get that notification. Same with YouTube. If you guys want to hit that bell notification icon, go ahead and do that. For those of you on TikTok and Instagram, link in my profile to jump over. I'll just post a link for my PayPal one more time. Even if you guys were tuned in, even if you guys like we're just tuned in and you're like, hey, like that was really useful and you guys want to send a PayPal contribution, please, by all means, like even if it doesn't even have to be like, hey, this is for a reading. It could just be like, hey, this is the thank you just for the time and energy that goes into this broadcast, and it's super appreciated. I love you guys so much. The links for the PayPal and my Patreon are in the info for this video, as well as the links in my profile for TikTok and Instagram. And go ahead and join on the Patreon if you want to upgrade to the $33 level. Again, there is that limited offer to be able to get a complimentary Light Guardian crystal. Just pay shipping when you join at the $33 level. Those are, again, the special items that I make. And you can also get the one-on-one sessions there with me, plus other upcoming events. And yeah, we also got next week we're starting our schedule again, where we're going to be doing team meditation, inspirational meditation in the morning as well, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. EDT. So like I'm literally just setting it up where I'm going to be doing it like 5 days in a row to the best of my ability. And then we'll be bringing in some of the leading members as well in the next little bit. And yeah, we'll be doing more tarot here, working towards our Patreon goal. Thank you again to Amanda, our newest Patreon supporter. We're currently at 101 on Patreon, working towards our next milestone of 111 and working our way all the way up to 200. Again, to be able to help support not only myself, the community, yourself, but also to be able to help support the family that we are growing here. And by family, I mean also like Lacey and our little light baby that's on the way. So thank you guys so much. I love you guys, and please feel free to just share some gratitude. We'll just keep things open here for just one more minute, and then I'll be off and ready to go. So any other closing gratitude you guys want to share, go ahead and leave that in the comments in the chat. This was a nice 2-hour broadcast, and yeah, this was awesome. This was just like a test run, just getting back into things, but I think it went phenomenally well, and I look forward to being able to do this again, and definitely stay tuned. We got more awesome things still to come. So deep breaths. Beautiful. Awesome. Love you guys. That was so fun. Cool. Thank you to those of you on Twitch. It was nice having new viewers on Twitch tune in. And thank you to those of you on YouTube as well. So if you guys want to share my stuff with some friends, let them know we got more tarot broadcasts on the way. I'll be trying to do a schedule with tarot Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the evenings. And it'll be kind of like different times depending. So Amanda, if you want to send me a direct message on Instagram, feel free to do that, and we'll make sure we get you set up on the Discord and stuff. So, and leading members, stay tuned. We got a new schedule starting next week with lots of awesome stuff on our way. So cool. Lori, thank you so much. Amanda, Pearl, Carly, those of you on Instagram and TikTok, and yeah, we'll wrap it up there. I gotta head out. So I love you guys. Have an awesome rest of your night, and yeah, keep shining your light as always. Keep it shifty, and welcome to the future. We're wrapping up the broadcast now, and all links you need are in my profile. And send me a DM. Even send me a DM on Instagram if you want a discount code for my item shop with the Light Guardian crystals and the buttons. Even if you're just like looking to just get some items that way, send me a DM and I'll give you a discount code if you want a little bonus, or just send me a DM and say thank you. That's fine too. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Looking forward to hanging out with you again, and as always, yeah, I guess I already said that. So see you later, shifters. All right, have an awesome evening. Much love.